guys, it's Bonnie. Today I'm here to do a series review for the Foxhole Court Trilogy, or the All in the Game Trilogy by Nora Sakavic, or Sakavic. Not entirely sure. I have recently been hearing about this series all over Tumblr and by this person that I follow who has recommended great books in the past, like The Raven Cycle. So when I saw all the hype about this, I was like, yo, I gotta check it out. Especially because it's really not being talked about on BookTube, anywhere that I see anyway. So I'm here to let you guys know all about this series. Basically, it follows this boy named Neil Jostin who has been on the run from his crime father for about 8 years now. I say crime father because I don't really know how to classify his father. He's kind of, I don't want to say crime lord, but kind of. He has people, he does a lot of bad things, and he has a reputation. So we meet Neil when he is in his senior year of high school, and Neil has been playing on his high school's XE team, and XE is the fictional sport that is kind of at the center of this story. Neil absolutely loves XE. It's the one thing that he feels is his, because since he's on the run and constantly changing his name and not really having any solid relationships, this is the one thing that he has that is his and only his, and he loves it. So he is approached by Coach David Wymack, who coaches the Palmetto State Foxes, which is a college league XE team. And this team brings on kids who come from troubled backgrounds and just bad, dark past. Neil's current coach at his high school had recommended him because he kind of is a little sketchy to his coach. He never sees his parents. He's always spending the night sometimes at the XE stadium place at his high school. And it was a little weird to his coach. So he contacted David thinking like, okay, Neil would be a great, probably, person for the Foxes. Even though Neil knows it's a pretty bad decision to get into college XE because that will put him in the spotlight and make it easy for his father to find him, he does it anyway because he just wants a place to call home. So our story starts from there. Neil goes to Palmetto State during the summer to start XE practices and whatnot, and we follow him on his journey. I really, really, really loved this series. While it definitely does have its flaws, overall it was just such a wonderful story with the best characters, the best character growth and relationships, and it's just, oh my god, it's so good. Absolute favorite thing about this book is the characters. They are really at the heart of this story. As Foxes go, we have obviously Neil, Kevin, Andrew, Aaron, Nikki, Seth, Matt, Renee, Allison, and Dan. 10 beautiful little foxes. The group kind of splits up between Andrew's people and Dan's people. Dan is like an upperclassman, so her and the upperclassmen are kind of, you know, a group, and then Andrew, Kevin, Aaron, Nikki are kind of all in a group, and Neil is just being thrown in the middle of that. And because all these people come from really just hard pasts, they have a lot of issues that they need to deal with in order to become, you know, the best team that they can. They're kind of not that great when it comes to XE teams, and when Neil gets there, they just have a lot of problems that they need to be worked out, and Neil kind of starts helping them do that. What I really just loved about these characters was, even though that they would get into fights a lot, both physical and verbal, they still really loved each other at the end of the day. Like, they would never say that or anything, but they really come together as a family, and it's just so beautiful. Of course, as I said, it does have its flaws. One, the book is self-published, so it could have used the work of like a good editor. Like, there's some grammar and spelling mistakes here and there, none that are like detrimental to the story, but it could have used a really like good professional editor. The negative is that some of the things in this are kind of unrealistic when it gets to like the dramatic crime lordy stuff with Neil and his father, and we throw in this Japanese crime lord family, and it's pretty intense, and I don't know how realistic it is because I don't really know anything about that. But at times it just feels a little like over dramatic, like this could not happen in real life, that kind of thing. However, if you see past that, I think you'll really like this because, like I said, the characters are so amazing. The plot is dramatic, but it makes for really good action, especially in the later books of the series. First book wasn't my favorite. I gave it a 3.5 because I thought it was good and I saw its potential. But what I really loved were the last two books in the series, which I gave both like a 4.5. It's not a 5-star series just because the writing isn't the best, and like I said, it's self-published, it could use some editing, but the characters and the story and the heart is what makes it so incredibly good. Another thing I found really like different from most books is that the first book has absolutely no romantic plot whatsoever. The second book doesn't really that much either, and the third book does, and it is a LGBTQ plus kind of relationship, so that is really, I really like that. I believe this series is classified as young adult, but I would probably say it's more new adult, just because I feel like new adults kind of can be that kind of almost over dramatic kind of thing. And also the violence in the last book gets really intense, and there is some romance stuff too in there that's more new adult than young adult, but I would say the violence mostly in the third book is what made me think, this isn't really young adult. If you're thinking like, I don't know if I want to pick up this series or not, I don't know if I want to spend my money and time on it, well, the first book is free on Amazon, and you can only get these books as ebooks because, like I said, they're not published. But the first book is free and the other 2 books are 99 cents. So there's no reason, at least money-wise, to not check out these books. They're pretty short, you can really get through them, and they're just so good that I highly recommend you check these out, because I think it's gonna be, I don't want to be like the next big thing, but it kind of feels like it might be, at least in the internet kind of community sort of thing. If you like the Raven cycle, I would say that you would probably like this book, even though the stories are not like similar at all, they're not the same thing. But the way the Raven Boys feels with its characters is how the Foxhole Court feels. And that's what I love the most about the Raven cycle. And that's what I love most about this series. So I think if you like the character aspect of the Raven cycle, you will like the character aspect of this book. And the characters are really what it's all about. One other negative also on the unrealistic side is the sport at its center. It's a fictional sport, so it can be kind of hard to picture. I believe the author described it as lacrosse meets hockey, and I kind of had a good picture of it in my head, kind of. It was a little hard at times, and it can be hard just to picture a fictional sport, especially in the way it's described. It's basically on the same level as college football is for us in terms of like fans and being broadcast on television and the spotlight on the athletes. It's pretty much the same as college football is for us. Other than that, like I said, I love this series. I love these characters. I would really love it if you guys checked out this series. If you do, let me know what you think. If you've read it already, let me know what you think. I'd love to talk about it. But I think that is all I have for this review. I'm probably forgetting something because I always forget something. Always. But hopefully I got my point across as to why I love it and why you should love it. And with that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.